Hey everyone, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I just wanted to do a video today. Very commemorating. Give me a second here. I had some crazy audio going on. Wanted to do a video today talking about what's going on with the celebration. My audio's all messed up. Hold on, guys. Give me a second. Very weird. I keep getting this audio feedback. I don't know where it's coming from. It's very strange. Sorry about that. But as I was saying, I wanted to do a video with the Hot Toys information, with some Mofex information, and hopefully I can give people some information that will do them well at Celebration. So without further ado, I'm going to share a video that I took today from Toy Sapiens showing the figures that are on display that will be sold at the event. So I'll give a little bit of commentary during the video. The lighting at Toy Sapiens is not very good. I don't really have good lighting. It follows me everywhere. But unfortunately, you're not getting a lot of the crisp details of the head sculpts, particularly with the Galen Urso. So if you're looking at the video, the light is very, very bright at Toy Sapiens, and it kind of drowns out the finer points, the finer details to the figure. So with that, I will get into the video. Give me a second. Let's take a look at it. So this is a video that I've made for my members only at the moment. I'll probably make it available maybe tomorrow for everybody else, but you can see that the colors are very bright. Here is the Cherry Blossom, the Sakura Stormtrooper. This figure looks great, it's phenomenal. This is probably the figure that I am maybe most excited to get. It looks really, really nice in person. The Haori, that jacket that he's wearing, is a very nice touch. And you can see the finer points of details with the Sakura on the helmet. So, you know, troops are in demand, and I probably would think that this one will be the most in demand of all the figures, at least in the short term. I think that Anakin that we're going to see in a moment right here, you know, people are a little bit divided, especially with the hair. Hot Toys been having some issues with the hair recently. So, but this, it really does look good. I had said when the Artisan released so close to Celebration, I had said to some people, watch, they're going to make a Dark Side Anakin for Celebration. I think they timed it so that it released and they had the batch available for the Dark Side. And lo and behold, that's what happened. So this looks great. Some have mentioned that this is probably more of a nod to the Ahsoka series, where Anakin makes an appearance as Darth Vader. And that's why he has the red lightsaber. Now, here is the weakest, I think, of all the figures that they're going to be selling. This is the cel-shaded, the dueling Darth Vader. You can see it really looks like a Mondo figure to me, with the cel shading. I'm really into Darth Vader. I do love the figure. I do love the characters. But this particular figure, it's not doing it for me, especially in person. So of the 5 figures that they are releasing, this is probably the least one that I like. I know that others disagree, and that's cool. That's fine. but for me, it just doesn't do it, especially in person. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Again, it's a little bit too cartoony. Now, this figure in person, I was actually pretty shocked how good it looks. And I was not going to pick this up, but I'm actually reconsidering now that I've seen it in person. It really does look good. The suit looks really nice. It has some wiring in the lower pod, as you can see here, for some good action poses. You can see it's not limited with the suit either. You can get some good posing right there with the legs. The base is all right. Not really a base person, but the figure looks good. I understand people having an issue with the horns, the way they are, but it's a concept figure. So here's a look at the back. I haven't seen too many photos of the back of the figure, so I got a little bit of video of that. And again, the wiring on that suit looks great. Good weathering on it. The wiring gives it an extra special touch. And again, those are the 5 that'll be available. So let me remove that. I will show that again a little bit later if people have questions or if they want me to show it again. I went into the store and I was asking about the figures. Normally, Toy Sapiens, not really Toy Sapiens, Hot Toys Japan, when they sell figures at these events, normally they're selling them a little bit later. They're not usually selling right at the beginning of the event. But I was told that this year they're going to be selling right from the get-go when the doors open, or at least shortly thereafter. I was told 8 o'clock. Now the doors open at 9. And I know that the VIP ticket allows people to enter 15 minutes early. So it doesn't really make sense unless there's a ticket that I'm not aware of or some sort of ability that people have to get into the event a little bit early. But I was told by Toy Sapien employee that they will be selling figures right from the get-go. You won't have to wait until 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock as you have in the past. Now, the big news is I asked about availability, and I was told that it's a limit of 2 per person. I was actually expecting 1, but I was told that it's going to be a limit of 2 per person, each figure, and they're not allocating any for specific days. So it's a first come, first served type of deal. So if you have tickets for only Sunday, you are probably going to be out of luck because they're not holding anything back for Saturday or Sunday. If everything sells out on Friday, it's gone. So, keep that in mind when you go, that, if you're thinking, well, I'll pick it up later, meaning maybe Saturday or Sunday, I wouldn't risk that. It's not really a good idea if you want to get these figures. So again, what I was told is there's going to be 2 per person, and they are going to be available Friday. And if they sell out, they sell out. They're not holding any back for the other days, the other segments. So again, make that what you will. So just be aware of that going in. Now, I did go over to Medicom. I started talking to them about their figures. They have the same policy. They're not holding anything for Saturday or Sunday. So as far as they know, and they couldn't give me any type of indication on limits on the figure. They weren't aware of any. They don't have any when they sell them in the stores. There's no limit if you go into the Project 16 store. If you want to buy everything, you can buy everything. But going to the Medicom event in July in the summertime, they do have a limit on how many figures you can purchase at the event, and that's only one. So when I was there last year, this is shortly after the Tiger Stripe Wolverine was re-released, as well as the Bane. Both of those were sold out. They had some there, and they only allowed people to buy one. So, again, they said that they are not going to be making that available later on. It's again, this is the people that I talk to. It's going to be a figure that once it sells out, that's it. They don't anticipate making this available to any retailers or it being available anywhere else. So when it comes to their store exclusives, they've never made those available anywhere else. They're still available in the store if you go there. So they obviously made a lot, or there's just not enough demand for the figures that they decided would be store exclusives. But once they sell out, they sell out. And if there's any left, they'll sell them in the store. So if they make, 5,000 units, if they only sell 2,000, they'll have a bunch available in the store and probably on their online store as well. So yeah, so that's it. I thought I'd pass that stuff along. Now, this guy, he says they won't sell 1,000 Hot Toys in one day. Not that many 1/6 collectors going to be there. No, there's not going to be that many 1/6 collectors there. But if it's 2 per person, you only need 500. 500 people buying 2. And there's enough collectors who aren't going, who've asked others to help them out, that it's a real possibility. So I wouldn't say, you have nothing to worry about. I think with that Veda, I don't anticipate that selling out at this event. That figure will probably still be around and in the bargain bin maybe next month. So we'll see. But if I was going to look at those figures and I was going to put them in certain categories in terms of which one is the best for me, which one is the least, I would probably say that Stormtrooper for me is the best, followed by that Anakin, followed by the Maul, followed by the Urso, and then the Vader, obviously. Now, the Galen Urso has a lot of demand only because it's the first time you've had that figure. There's no other iteration of the figure. And a lot of people want it, to build up their Rogue One collection or whatnot. So I understand that a lot of people might be after that, but it's sort of the weakest one there, I think, in terms of, just eye candy. So I think that Stormtrooper 1 is going to go first. I think there's going to be a lot of Japanese collectors who want that. I think there's going to be a lot of people coming in to Japan who look, if they're going to get only one figure, they don't want the Anakin. If they're only going to get one other figure, that's the perfect figure that would sort of encapsulate their entire experience here. So I really think that's going to go first. That's 1,000 units. I believe the Anakin is 1,500 units. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. And the Galen Urso, I think, is also 1,500. But again, with all the figures, they're all going to be available again, through Sideshow, through Hot Toys, except for that Galen Urso. The Galen Urso is an exclusive to the event. So, if you need them, reach out to people that who are going, if that's possible. So if anybody has any questions in the chat, I'll be more than happy to try to answer them. I can put that video on one more time if people want. Let me get it backed up again. So we'll play it for you guys one more time. Take a look at the figures. So again, if you look at that figure, one second. Oh, jeez. This thing's such a pain in the butt. Hold on, guys. My computer's awful. Sorry. If you want that figure, don't despair because it looks like it's not a strong resemblance. It's the lighting in the store. The store doesn't have the best lighting. It's too bright in a lot of areas, so give me a second. Now you don't really even see his eyebrows. He's got eyebrows. Don't worry about that. But again, this one is really the one that I'm looking forward to the most. This one looks great. So I think there'll be 1,000 of these at the event, and there'll be 1,500 available via Sideshow, via Hot Toys in the different markets. I want at least 2 of these guys. Looks really good. So again, if you're going to the show, there's a 2-item limit per figure. So you can get 2 of each figure. So keep that in mind when you go. And all of these figures will be on hand. So you'll be able to buy them and then bring them home with you. Now, I know a lot of people have been having concerns with the hair and the glue. I try to show it here. You know, some people got good batches, some people didn't. So who knows? But it's a really cool looking figure. And if this is your only Anakin, I don't know. I mean, you got to go with the regular Anakin. I've got my regular Anakin over there. I passed on the dark side years ago. I don't regret it, but you know, I kind of wish I wish I had one now, and here's my chance. So again, this Vader just looks a little bit too cartoony for me. The paint's a little bit off. It's a little bit weird. I get like Ren and Stimpy vibes from this. I don't know why, but again, it's more like a big Mondo figure, like the Venom, the way that they cell shaded that. Yeah, he looks awesome. He really does. He looks great. The eyes. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, you know, sometimes it's done well, sometimes it's not. Guess it just depends on who's doing it and how big the figure is. I think in a smaller figure, like I've seen amazing Transformers masterpiece scale that were cell shaded. They look incredible. And then that Moffat Spider-Man looks really good as well, but this Vader just ain't cutting it. See, I'm the opposite, man. I think it looks worse in person. I don't know. That's me, but it's subjective, right? Everybody's got a different opinion. But again, I wasn't planning on getting this mall, and seeing it in person changed my mind. I really like it. This was an easy pass for me, but seeing it in person, it's changed my mind. So there you go. So that Anakin the base is going to be exclusive to this figure, and the Stormtrooper, you're going to have that backdrop that's going to be exclusive to this figure as well for the celebration. So, yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I thought I wouldn't, and when I was there in person, it was just very nice, very surprising. And the thing with Maul is he's such a athletic, I guess maybe that's the proper word. He's such an athletic character that you really want to get some good dynamic posing out of it. And that's one of my issues with Hot Toys these days. I would rather have my 112 stuff, whether it's, Medicom or Tamashi Nations or Amazing Yamaguchi, and being able to put stuff in different poses rather than most of the museum poses that you can do with these guys because of the suits, because of the clothing, because of the damage to the body, just bending the elbows or bending the knees. So I love these. It's great representation of the characters of the IP. But in terms of fun, they're not really fun. The other stuff is more fun because you can pose it, you can put it into these incredible poses. Your imagination is the limit. So that's one of the issues with Hot Toys, unfortunately. So okay, yeah. So, thanks for reminding me. So I went in and I asked, because the last time I was there, and I asked them, was basically like March, and it's almost, what's today, the 9th. So I asked them what's coming out as of right now, what's coming out for the month. And I was told that it's going to be Superboy and it's going to be the Jordan. So they had told me those two, and they had told me Kane, and they had told me the Deep. This is back in March. But now they've kind of narrowed it down to those two. And I asked them when that would happen. And they said like the last week of March. So are we getting them both on the same day? Maybe, possibly. I think April 26th is the Saturday, I think. I know that people had posted, I think that Hobby Link Japan gave a date of the 25th. I think the Hobby Link Japan date of the 25th is really just the date that they're planning on charging people, because they'll get their allotment in on the 25th. Medicom ships stuff out, and it gets to the retailers on the Friday afternoon. And then it'll be available for the street date, which is the following day, Saturday. So Medicom street dates are almost always Saturday. And when they tell you it's going to be around the last week of the month, that's the safest bet. So if you see like, the 25th, which I think is a Friday, and you see like Hobby Link Japan or Genki or whatever, if they're giving you that date, I would just expect that to be the date that they're charging you once they get it in stock. And if you're living overseas, they probably won't ship it out until the following Monday, or maybe even later. The end of April is Golden Week. For those of you unfamiliar, it's a sort of long holiday week of varying holidays all kind of lined up. And that Monday might be a holiday. So a lot of companies are closed. And so you're probably not going to get anything shipped out if that Monday or even that Tuesday are holidays. So keep that in mind. Don't go flying off the handle if you don't get your stuff. So if I had to bet, I would say it's going to be on that Saturday, the 26th. And again, Superboy and the Jordan in the white home uniform are what's more than likely going to be released. So yeah, it is definitely about time for that Superboy. Definitely. And once that releases, I think the most outstanding figure would probably be the Kane, followed by, I think, the Deep. So I would expect those two figures to be in May. The Rogue, I don't think Rogue is going to come out until like July or August with the way things are moving. So you have to think and you have to imagine that with the Stormtroopers, with Han and Luke, and those being available basically next week, the Han seems to be the exact same figure as the Stormtrooper that they're releasing. The Luke is a little bit shorter, so they've kind of re-engineered the legs, it seems. But if they have that Han Stormtrooper good to go, I would imagine that the normal release, because they did it all together, they just switched the head around with the Han. I would expect that figure to probably release maybe like next month, May, that Stormtrooper, which I think is the date that they had. Maybe it's April, but I would imagine that that's going to release in May. So we'll see. We'll see. There's no news on any reissues, restocks. You know, a lot of the times they don't find out about anything until right before. The Soldier Boy is, I didn't get any news on that. I wouldn't expect that to release before the Deep. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but I would expect that to release first. So we'll see. Let me just go through, see if we have any other questions. Are they going to run through the team? I would say they are. I'm most excited to see what they do with that Iceman that they previewed in the summer last year. If they're using a translucent clear plastic, it's kind of hard to tell. I don't have the other version, but like what Four Horsemen did here, and a lot of people say, well, that plastic it's too brittle. No, it's the quality of the plastic that you get. This is not brittle at all. This is great. If they gave us an Iceman like that, that would be awesome. And then with the Mando, with that chrome, are we going to see a Colossus soon? Chromed up. That would be incredible as well. Or Silver Surfer. So I would say that they're definitely going to finish that line. They'd be stupid not to. So we'll see. But the Beast would be great. I think the only issue with the Beast is, you know, how do they do it with all the hair and everything? You know, it's completely different than anything they've ever done. So are they going to sculpt it all? Who knows? We'll see. So, well, the Batgirl, I don't know, when is that due? I don't think that's due for a while. I could be wrong. We'll see. Yeah, that Bruce and Clock. I was just thinking about them the other day because, you know, let me pull it up. I have this from I think it's called Too Good Co. So they did this back in the day. It's 1/12, and it comes with a suit, nothing on it, and he's moved out. I was thinking I need Bruce Wayne to go with that particular armory. So yeah, it's a good prop. I got the Iron Man. That one's a little bit too fragile for me to pull, but I got a couple things from that company. That company's pretty awesome. They don't make so much stuff anymore, but they used to kind of turn some stuff out. Too Good Co. Too Good Company. Like number 2, good, then CO. They put out some really good stuff. So, all right. So with that, I thank everybody for watching. It was about a 30-minute stream. I hope that little bit of information I gave and those video that I showed gave people an indication about these figures and how maybe you should approach going to Celebration. So thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you watching. Be good, be safe, and I'll see you all next time.